Many at times we make financial decisions, and it happens that those are one of the financial decisions that you will ever make in your life. And personally, I believe the worst financial decisions are decisions that you'll make, not because that decision is bringing some value to yourself, but maybe to make an impression or to prove a point to someone else. So I came along this money confession that I want to read or to share, and we get to see, have you ever made such a decision, or what can we get to learn from this? And in my opinion, this is the typical thinking of a normal young man. But what you get to realize is that for you to try and have your finances in order, you have to sacrifice some things, and most probably you have to take the road that is not taken, because we cannot keep doing the same way that we have seen other people do and fail. Then we follow the same way and expecting different results. They say that it's only a madman who does things the same way and expect different results. So it's the high time that we get to learn from mistakes that others have done before, so that we can try to see whether we can get some different results. So it's about taking the road not taken. So let's hear the story of what a typical young man who have been employed can think of doing, and get to see what can we do things, how can we do things differently. Now let's go. This is a direct confession from someone, so I will read as it is. And the guy says, for years on end, I badly wished to get a government job, to also identify as a civil servant. Having been raised by two civil servants, I deemed it quite prestigious, and that was my dream since I cleared high school. We all know that it is one thing to wish and another one to get, right? After my college completion, the journey to address applications began, and I saw this, and I say this, I cannot recount how many newspaper cutouts I have in my house from those days, dozens. Year in, year out, I was not shortlisted, and that meant back to the drawing board, or is it application board? This went on for close to 7 years. So this guy tried to search for a government job for around 7 years. As a married man now, having to feed for my people, I had to get jobs here and there to make ends meet and put some bread on the table. I ventured into academic writing and teaching in private schools, but my heart was still in hope of getting a government job. I never I never gave up. Then we go there, the dream job. Then in 2021, the stars finally aligned. I got the job of my dreams, and I remember marveling on my darling wife, honey, see, it's permanent and pensionable. I was elated beyond measure. Oh, I I had a Sunday service at my local for Thanksgiving to finally attain my dream. I felt alive and ready to start life as a civil servant. Whenever I met my peers who knows me, we can tell that this guy, after getting the job, definitely mentally he believed that his financial situation was to change to the better. Let's get to here. Whenever I met my peers who knew me, I made sure to share my joys. To some, I even bragged and said, Goja sasa utaona nikiomoka. Whenever I hung out with the boys to watch a match, I would shikia them a kilo or two of nyamchom, just because I wanted to affirm that indeed I was on another level, a rich man. trying to prove a point. About 6 months after my confirmation, I got this intense urge to live larger. Makosa ikafanyika hapo sasa. I mean, I have a secure job now and I cannot keep living in this small house, still using the same second-hand sofa I have gotten as a bachelor. I need an upgrade, I thought. As the days went on, an urge to upgrade and live like a proper civil servant kept pestering me. Reality check. When I had enough and done my due diligence, I took a day off from work. I was going to have a meeting with my bank manager. I needed a loan. After all, being a permanent and pensionable employee, there is no way taking up a loan would be a problem. With an assured monthly salary, I was sure as day that I would easily pay off the loan. Mark you, the only thing I knew I wanted was an upgrade. I had not planned what I wanted with the rest of the money. But I went ahead and took a loan of Kenya shillings 1.5 million. As I left the banking hall, I could bet you $1,000 my walking style had changed, and so had my countenance. I was now a rich man, as we call them, bazoo. That evening, I took my family out to a fancy hotel and we all had a 3-course meal. I gave a speech to my wife and kids and told them to mark this as a beginning of a new era. Dad was now a big man. What followed was months of what Kenyans call fine life. We upgraded from a Kenya shillings 18,000 two-bedroom to an ultra-modern 3-bedroom apartment, 45,000 monthly rent. For a while, vacations became part of our family routine. And of course, the house underwent transformation, a smart TV, a house office, Iranian carpets, a mega fridge, and everything nice. Now, the financial strain kicks in. After months of splurging and enjoyment, my wife was in the hospital ready to deliver our third-born baby. As I took a walk, waiting excitedly yet nervously, I decided to get some money and buy my wife and baby a surprise gift. I have never forgotten how cold my body felt or how heavy my knees got when I saw the number on my bank account balance. It was 18,674. What? How? When? This must be a mistake. I checked and rechecked, but the number was still the same. I had Kenya shillings 18,674. I thought I was just getting started on this bazoo life. I went back to the hospital and did not utter a word about the shocker. During the 2 days that my wife was away in the hospital, I took a chance and did my findings on what was going on, and eventually reality struck. I was in trouble. Having squandered all the money and almost felt as though I had done nothing with it. Having squandered all the money and almost felt as though I had done nothing with it. Once this money was depleted, I started feeling the pinch, especially every end month when I had to cough out 45,000 of rent. A newborn baby is expensive. When January came and my other kids needed to go back to school, I found myself going to get salary advances and laughing it off with my finance officer, blaming it on January. But I knew the truth. I was sinking. I found myself getting overdraft just to go grocery shopping. I felt as though my dream was slipping off my fingers like fine grains of sand. When did I get here? So, lesson learned. I could no longer keep up because I was getting choked by debt and keeping up with this expensive life. Before I caved in, I remember one time my kids did not go to school for a month of lack of school fees. When I remember that it was my when I remembered that it was my retired mom, who had given me a soft loan just to parent, and my brother lent me some money just to get fare to work, I had I had come to the end of the road. The countless times I had turned down invitations to a boys' hangout because I could not bear them, knowing that I was officially a dethroned bazoo. I isolated myself from family gatherings. Honestly, when I recount those moments, I'm grateful my wife stuck around because things were thick. Eventually, I had to eat the humble pie and give up the house. Again, strategically, I made sure to move to a neighborhood where no one knew where no one knew us, so that I could also be it could also be easy for our kids to change schools. It pained them, it pained me, but I could not afford to. At least not at the time. I kept the furniture. I did At least not at the time. I kept the furniture. I did. It is a constant reminder that lifestyle inflation is real. I'm now back in line, slowly paying my loan installment, which have gone up significantly over the past year. I have learned hard lessons to never take a loan that I have not carefully planned for. In the future, if I must take a loan, let it be to purchase an asset or for business investment and not to satisfy a vain need to look rich. As I pick up my life and its pieces, I now know to be true to myself and to the people around me. So that is the story. We can see the mistake that this guy did, taking a loan to do a life upgrade, to prove a point to friends, and that's how he found himself where he was. But the good thing is that for me, the good thing that I found with him is that he did not try to fight so much, because if he tried to fight so much, he would have gone back to the same bank and asked for a top up. He could have gone to another bank and fight for a buy off so that he can get some extra money to continue fighting the lifestyle. But I'm glad that he made the best but the hardest decision, to reverse his steps, to degrade his life to where he could comfortably afford. But that's how dangerous it can be to get a loan to do a life upgrade. Okay, to take a loan to spend on the wants, things that are not necessary for survival, and take a loan to prove a point that you are a big man. Take a loan because you are a civil servant, and civil servants are known for getting good loans by the banks. So it is what that I'm saying. I think it is the high time we start taking the road that is not taken by many. Civil servants have been taking loans. Simply because you have become a civil servant is not a direct implication that you should get a loan. So for me, it is the high time we start getting going the roads that have not been taken by others. Otherwise, we will continue struggling with the same problems that the middle class people continues to struggle with. Give me your thoughts about that.